everyone, and today I'm going to show you a recipe, an old German recipe to make strawberry shortcake. I got this recipe from my dear Aunt Izzy. So my son got me this pan here in Germany from Amazon. I'm pretty sure you can order this also here in Canada. It's very special. It has a special shape here so that when you finish baking the shortcake, then you flip it over and you have then this side where you can put the strawberries on top. So I tried out this recipe once before last week, and I had a really hard time getting the dough out of the form, and I was told I didn't put enough butter on the bottom, so I'm going to really smear a lot of butter this time to make sure that the dough really comes out easy at the end. So first we're going to separate 4 eggs and put the egg white into the mixer and mix it really well. So now I'm going to start my mixer here on full gas and let it whip up for a few minutes. So I'm just going to put the egg white in another bowl for now because I'm going to need it later on. And then I'm going to now whip up the egg yolk. So you see I have the 4 egg yolks in there, and I'm going to whip that up and make it creamy. So now it looks nice and creamy, and we're going to add 3 tablespoons of water. So 1, 2, and 3. Now we're going to add 5 tablespoons of sugar. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So now I'm going to add a package of vanilla sugar, which you can get at a European store or at Food Basic. But you also can use natural vanilla, like 1 or 2 teaspoons of real vanilla. But right now I'm going to just use the vanilla package. So another ingredient that comes into this recipe is Gustin. And Gustin is a starch. So I'm just going to use regular starch. I'm using this Fleischmann's cornstarch, and I need 3 tablespoons of that. Just level it off here. 1, 2, and 3. So of course we need some flour, and I've got some unbleached flour, and I need 4 tablespoons of flour. So not a whole lot of flour. 2, 3, and 4. There we go. And last, a very important ingredient, and that is the baking powder. So I'm just using a regular baking powder here. It calls for 1.5 teaspoons, but you know what? I'm going to put, for good measure, I'm going to put 2 teaspoons in. There we go. Now I'm going to mix this all together and hope for the best. So I'm going to put it like on a medium level here to mix. So this machine is not a KitchenAid, it's from Cuisinart, and the problem with Cuisinart is I always have to take an extra spoon here and get all the stuff on the sides up so that it'll mix properly, which is pretty annoying sometimes. So that looks good. I think I mixed it up really well. So before I put the egg white into my mixture, that, you know, the egg white we mixed at the beginning, I'm going to put a lot of butter on this pan here so that it'll come out easier. So make sure you put a lot of butter here into the deep sides here so that it'll come out easy. And I think I'm going to put a dab of flour on top after. So yeah, hopefully it'll come out much easier than last time. Last time I just used Pam spray, which didn't work at all. As you can see, I put tons of butter on there. I'm just going to take a little bit of flour and sprinkle it on here and shake it around. So this is how I'm going to do it, and just shake it around. I'm going to set the oven at 350 before I do the last step. Now I'm just going to add this lovely egg white and mix it together with the dough. See, it's nice and fluffy. So that is what it looks like, and now I'm going to put it into the cake form. So it should fill up completely. It's very foamy. So we're going to just spread it around nicely like that. So this is what it looks like. In German this is called Biskuitboden. My oven is warming up, and in a few minutes I can put it in the oven. I put a pan inside just in case it overflows, and I'm going to carefully put it in the oven now. And I'm going to set my timer for 25 minutes. For this cake you need strawberries. These are Canadian strawberries. I got 2 packages, and you need about a package and a half for this recipe. So I'm going to wash the strawberries and get them ready while the cake is baking. Oh, 25 minutes are up, and I'm going to get the cake out here. It looks good so far. Let me just take the whole pan out. Doesn't that look great? So my aunt says we need to toss it right away, and I'm going to try that in a minute. Okay everyone, let's keep our fingers crossed. I was told to take it out of the oven and toss it right away on the cake plate. Let's see if it comes out. I don't see anything coming out right now. It doesn't want to come out yet, and I'm going to put a cold cloth on top and see if that makes a difference. So I put this cloth on top. I might even put some ice on top. These are my ice cubes. I'm just going to lay them on top like that. Sometimes the cool will release and make it come out of the form. I hope I don't have to struggle again with it. I'm still waiting. I'm waiting for a few minutes, and hopefully it will loosen from the form. Come on! Shake it a bit, see if that helps. So now I put 2 packages of ice on here, my ice cube trays, and I think it is loosening a little bit. In the meantime, I'm going to make my red glaze. You can buy it at a European store or in Sears. This package calls for 1 cup of water and 2 tablespoons of sugar. I don't like a whole lot of sugar, so I'm going to cut back on the sugar. So everyone, I called my aunt and told her the situation I'm in, that the cake didn't want to come out of the form, and she said put it on the rack to let it cool off properly before you put it on the cake plate. And I did that, and I think the ice helped because now it finally came out of the form. So there it is, out of the form. Took a little bit, and I'm going to let it cool off another maybe 10 minutes before I put the strawberries on and the glaze. And the strawberries are looking good, and you put whole strawberries on there, you fill the whole cake. So everyone, I let it cool off for actually half an hour, and I'm going to put it back on the cake plate and place the strawberries, the whole strawberries, around the edge first. You also can use peaches or bananas, and I'm going to place them very orderly on the cake. So now I'm going to finish making the glaze on medium heat. I'm going to stir occasionally until it gets thicker. So once it starts to bubble or boil, it should be finished. And we're almost there. So I'm going to turn the heat off. It is boiling, and let it sit for a few minutes to thicken up a little more. So now the glaze is finished, and you don't want to put it over the strawberries when it's too hot. Let it cool down a little bit because it'll soak into the cake, and that's not good. So while the glaze is cooling down, I'm going to get the whipped cream ready, and that's what you really need on top of a cake like this. So let's get on with the last step, and that is putting the glaze on. I whipped up the whipped cream, it's in the fridge and it's ready. And so I'm going to take this gravy spoon here, and like my aunt told me, is to do the edge first, all around the edge, and work your way into the middle. That's what she told me. So I'm going to go see my aunt and take her a piece of cake along. I'm sure she's going to enjoy it. And I have some beautiful roses in my garden. I'm going to take a few of those along too. And of course, you need some whipped cream on top. And that looks really delicious. This cake does taste delicious. I want to thank you all for joining me today, and I hope you enjoyed this video, this recipe. I hope you try it out yourself, and if you haven't subscribed, please do so. That's going to help me out a lot, and I'll see you again in the next video.